So, number one, review of chapter 1 and 2. We'll start with the first to my right. Circle as many as applicable. Is self-control easy or within reach?
I said within reach. And should I explain why?
No.
Oh.
You said within reach, but not easy.
Yeah.
Okay. Eugenia?
Same question?
Yeah.
Same answer.
Ooh.
Same.
Are you guys related?
Next.
Next.
That's question number one. Easy, within reach?
Within reach.
Anyone different? So everyone answered within reach.
Yes.
Okay, very good. This is based on a verse in the Torah that's the whole Tanya based on that. That it said, "Meyusad al pasuki karov elecha davar me'od." The Torah says that it is very near you. The Torah does not say it's easy. The Torah says that the word of God is near you. Near you means it's within reach. Near means it's within reach, but it doesn't mean it's easy. Might be hard to apply it, but it is near you. It is within reach. And that's a major important and a fundamental lesson in life, that not everything that is hard means it's impossible. It's within reach, hard, might be difficult, but yes, within reach. Number two, let's go on. The animals, let's try to do it quickly. The animal soul is not evil. Yes or no?
I said no.
You never come to this side.
One at a time.
I said no.
No, if someone says differently. Did you disagree with before?
He wants you to start that way.
Like you started on this side question one, you started on this side.
Okay, I'll start with your side. But did you agree with number one? That it's within reach?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, we'll do it a little bit differently this time. So you answer one. Is the animal soul not evil? Yes or no?
Yes.
So it is not evil. Does anyone disagree with that? You wrote that the animal soul is evil.
Yes.
You wrote the animal soul is evil.
Yeah, because it's a reverse question. It's not evil, meaning it's good.
So it is evil.
So it is evil, yes.
So it is evil. But you wrote that it's not evil. Okay.
I said it's not evil because it is animal.
Yeah.
It's not evil because it is animal. Okay, we'll discuss it soon. Let's go on. Let's go with number two. We'll now start with the other side. What? The animal soul is instinctive, yes or no?
Yes.
Anyone disagrees? Or everyone agrees that the animal soul is instinctive? Yes. Number three, is the animal soul self-oriented? Ben, yes or no?
Yes.
It is self-oriented. Anyone disagrees? No? Next. Is the animal soul animalistic?
Yes.
Rachel, yes or no? What?
Yes.
Yes. Obviously, the animal soul is animalistic. The animal soul cannot, according to you, it's, what did you answer, Yossi?
Yes.
Why? You said everything is godly, so the animal soul is godly. It's still animalistic. Okay.
No, but animalistic is godly.
Yes, okay, yes, good. Next question. I'm asking you the question. The animal soul can do good, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So basically what you're saying is that evil could do good.
No. Basically.
Because you answered first that the animal soul... Okay,
No, hold on.
okay,
Soul is different than doing.
okay, so evil could do good. Okay, but you
Plus, what do you define evil, right?
exactly. Next, the animal soul neutral level of non-holiness. Avi,
What about it?
I'm picking on you because you had the trouble with it.
Okay, I said no. What?
So the animal soul is not a neutral level of non-holiness. You said no.
No. I said no to the fact that yeah.
Okay.
An animal soul is not a neutral. And the author said the question, so that's why
I know that's.
If it is self-interested, it's not neutral. And if it is holy, so it's a non-neutral element of the holy.
Okay.
What is neutral level of non-holiness? Like, what are you trying to say?
Exactly. What's the
I
question?
just want to understand it, and because I wrote no also because.
If you could be
But
non-holy,
I
they
want to understand. If you can tell me what it means. Neutral. Let's just forget about neutral. Non-holiness.
Okay.
Nothing is non-holiness.
Okay. Sure, everything. Sure, there are things that are not holy. Okay.
I'll explain
Okay.
to you. Let me
Okay,
put it
ladies
this
and gentlemen, let's do it this way. Let me tell you the answers that are, in my opinion, correct, and then we will discuss if one disagrees. Okay? That way you'll understand what I'm saying at least, because I presented those questions. I'm not saying that I'm right, but I'm saying that I'm presenting the question, so then you'll understand what I'm saying. The animal soul is not evil, yes. The animal soul is instinctive, yes. The animal soul self-oriented, yes. The animal soul animalistic, yes. Can the animal soul do good? Yes. Is the animal soul neutral level of non-holiness?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
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 Is the animal soul, think again, is the animal soul the neutral level of non-holiness?
Yes.
Yes. So the answer to all these questions are yes.
Tanya.
Now, okay, no, don't disagree with me. Now you want to understand me.
Yes, I thought.
Before you could disagree, you have to try to understand me.
Okay.
Okay. So, who has a problem with any of those? Any of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions? Who has a challenge with any of those? 1, 2. Anyone else has a challenge with any of those?
I have an opportunity.
No. So, Avi, go first.
Okay. The Canadian Americans just finished signing the new trade agreement. In that trade agreement, there's a clause that says that if the Canadians wish to negotiate a new trade agreement outside of the North American zone, then the Americans have the right to terminate this trade agreement. Right away, everybody jumps and they say, well, this implies that Canada is giving away its sovereignty to the Americans. There's another clause in the trade agreement that says any party can sever the agreement for whatever reason without giving a reason. Given that the first clause provides a reason, does it mean that the other clause that supersedes it basically is in effect? The answer is no. So did we give our sovereignty? The answer is no. We just said something to appease somebody. The same thing applies here. The animal soul is holy because everything that God made is holy and everything is God. Second one, the animal soul is neutral. It has no evil inclination or a good inclination, that we're agreed. However, the animal soul is also self-interested. The fact that it is self-interested, therefore it's not neutral. Just like the trade agreement.
Okay. So I apologize that I did not run this document by our lawyers before I presented it. so I might be taken to task. But here is my general comment on what you're saying. Is there is lots, but my general comment is there anything in these 7 lines about godly?
Last one.
No.
Is there anything in the 7 lines? Look again. Anything here about godly? Does it anything here say that something is from God or not from God?
Well, the holiness implies,
Holiness. Okay.
implies that it's
Okay. So let me clarify. Evil is godly? Created by God?
Yes.
Yes. Is it holy?
No.
I would hope not. Okay? So that's why and it's not, I'm not saying what is godly, what is not godly. Again, Nefesh HaElokit, the godly soul, implies holiness. and that's fine. But for let's not get caught up here now on technical words. The question is, and that's a very important basic in Tanya, foundation in understanding Tanya, that when the Alter Rebbe in Tanya speaks about evil and about the animalistic soul, the animal soul, it doesn't mean evil in a way of stealing and murdering and being bad and being doing something that is against humanity. What the Alter Rebbe, and we elaborated on it, and everyone is welcome to go back to the classes which are available online. What the Alter Rebbe here is introducing is anything that is not godly, anything that is not holy.
Holy or godly?
Holy, but again, I said that here we're borrowing godly as far as holy. We're calling it holy. Everything is from God, obviously. But I cannot say, and I'll commit a sin, and it's godly. Godly means holy for this purpose of what sure, everything is created by God. But call it holy. I'll call it godly. But anything that is not holy is animalistic. So as a result, I could be a wonderful human being, the best ethical manners, giving, charitable, kind, all wonderful. At the same time, I'm an animal. And has nothing to do, could be that I'm an animal, has nothing to do with holiness. It's a human nature, and human nature that is like a animal nature, self-serving, could do good, selfish, self-oriented. They are very kind animals, very giving animals. They're still animals. They're not holy.
Your holy behavior could be self-serving.
So then it's not holy.
Yeah.
Then it's not holy. So if I pray for a selfish purpose, then it's not holy. Then I'm self-serving. That's the fundamental of Tanya, a big foundation, a big pillar of understanding what the Alter Rebbe describes as animalistic and not animalistic. And when one understands that principle, then one approaches Tanya in a total different way. Then one understands the language of Hasidus. In the language of Hasidus, animalistic, the animal soul is not bad. The animal soul is very good. A person could give away their entire money for charity, the entire life, giving one's life totally to help other people. One didn't start to serve God. One could still be self-serving. So then it's animalistic soul. It's all coming from the Nefesh HaBehamit. Because I'm a good person in nature. Following our nature is animalistic. Following God is godly. And that's what that's the parsha of yesterday, which we could elaborate. God was testing Avram, Lech Lecha, leave behind your agenda. If you have an agenda, it's animalistic. If it's God's agenda, then it's godly. So the answer to all this is, so what is neutral level of non-holiness? If it's not Hashem, if it's not a mitzvah, if it's me, then it's animalistic. It's neutral. I'm not doing anything. All I'm doing, I'm eating because I'm hungry. Is there anything wrong with it? It's a mitzvah, actually. It's a mitzvah to eat when you're hungry. But if I'm doing it not because it's a mitzvah, but I'm doing it because I'm hungry, then I'm an animal. Simple. Anything we do could be wonderful if I'm doing it because it's self-serving. I'm an animal. I could teach now Tanya. It's a big mitzvah. If I'm doing it for a selfish reason, if it serves my ego, if it serves my nature of being a giving person, being a good teacher, if I am, I just gave an example. I didn't speak about myself. Then I'm an animal. just to bring a little bit of light, if you remember, we shared the story of the Baal Shem Tov who took his students on a tour, a Friday night at the Shabbos, during time of Shabbos dinner. He took his Chevraya Kaddish, his holy group, the students, on a tour of town. They're going by someone's house. There is windows open, no blinds, and they're looking in there, and everyone sees at the head of the table an ox sitting with a shtreimel and singing Shabbos song and enjoying the Shabbos meal. They're all looking. What's going on? What is an ox doing? Sure. What is a shor habar? What is a shor doing at the head of the table? And what it was that individual was enjoying the steak and the beef that he had at the time. So and instead of doing it lekavod Shabbos Kodesh in honor of the holy Shabbos, he did it for so his entire head was where he is. B'makom shemachshavto shel adam sham hu nimtza, where the thought of a person is, that's where he is. So he turned into an ox, but he was wearing a shtreimel. He was wearing his holy garments. But it wasn't for the holiness of Shabbos. So what happens by us on the Friday night Shabbos dinner? Here we're a grape, here we're a wine, then we're a challah, then we're a chicken soup, then we're a fish, then we're a beautiful salad, and then we're even a dessert and even ice cream. Oh, that's a multi-personality that we change within the hour of the Shabbos meal. But the idea, so that's animalistic. So that's the answer to this. Yes, sorry, I didn't allow you. Rachel, you wanted to say something.
That's how all of us are. We know we eat. How many? That's why you have to be a big. It says on David HaMelech, when we had to go eat, he would say, "Alech ligmor chesed im ha'aluva."
Hillel HaZaken.
Hillel HaZaken, right? When you would go eat, he would say, "I'm going to go make kindness with the aluva."
With the one who is left behind, with the poor.
Which means his body. I'm going to eat because I have to sustain my body. We're going to eat because we enjoy the food.
Okay.
So, but you could have could have an intention that you're doing this, so you'll have strength to do mitzvahs. Then it changes everything.
Yes, 100%.
And
That's
you
the
can
thing.
still enjoy the meat.
That's the thing, that we have to train ourselves that everything we do should not be animalistic, should not be self-serving, but should be l'shem shamayim, in the sake of Hashem. But not only neutral, even mitzvot could be self-serving, and how much more so worldly things that we do. Taking vacations, sleeping, eating, buying clothes, putting on clothes, taking a shower. Everything could be for animalistic self-purpose, or it could be bechol drachecha da'eu, kol ma'asecha l'shem shamayim. Everything is for the sake of heaven. Then it's not for a selfish purpose. Yes.
Just bringing the example of the Shabbos meal. That's what I think. When I was growing up, my relatives in New York, Montreal, who were Hasidish, they would make sure the Shabbos table had special dishes, special cutlery. The salt and pepper shakers were different, were special for Shabbos.
Yeah.
The whole routine was only special for Shabbos.
Yes.
So it was sort of even though there's food, to bring the reminder that it's a Shabbos meal.
Exactly, and I'm sure that your relatives were not animals and ox in Shtreimel, but the Baal Shem Tov brought down that there could be one who has all special dishes and has everything, and still not enjoying the holiness of Shabbos, not putting oneself at a higher level of the holiness of Shabbos, but enjoying the comfort of wow. And all these things. One could even say Lechavit Shabbos Kodesh for every bite and not mean it. But God forbid, not your relatives.
Only one cousin.
I don't know them. Next, only one of them.
Always one cousin.
Of course, yes. Next, circle 1. Soul created with speech, and soul created with breath. So Okay, who did not? Michael, what is your answer?
God in the end.
Number 3.
Always godly.
What?
Godly.
Which one?
The first one.
Both are so godly souls. So the soul created with speech.
And breast godly.
He answered both of them are godly.
Both of them are godly. Anyone disagrees? Yes.
Well, I said that soul created with speech, that's godly. And soul created with breath, not godly.
Yes.
I actually answered the opposite.
What?
I answered the opposite.
That both are animal?
No, that the one created with speech is animal and the one with breath is God.
And I agree with Eugenia. Because Vayipach be'apav nishmat chayim, the soul that God breathed into the humankind was the godly soul. That's the nefesh ha'elokit. Elokai neshama shenatata bi. If we pay attention to the third blessing of morning blessings that we say every morning, that's the neshama elokit, the neshama hakdosha, the holy soul. Ata nefachta bi, ata meshamra b'kirbi, v'ata atid lachzira bi la'atid lavo. All this is talking about the divine soul. The animal soul, the human soul, is like everything else. The truth is that you can't define one from another. They're intertwined. But in principle, the godly soul, God bred in. This was very the unnatural, the supernatural way of the way God created the world. Everything else was with speech, and the soul God breathed in. That's the nefesh ha'elokit. That is chelek elokam mima'al mamash. It's 2nd chapter of Tanya, the first line of the 2nd chapter of Tanya, that the divine soul is part of God Himself, the breath of God.
Yeah, but speech also godly. It's coming from God. The letters.
Everything. Vayomer Elokim yehi or. God created animals also godly.
Why it's
You're right. But again, going back to what we said earlier.
Question. So,
Hold on 1 second. Let me address this. God said there will be light. Is that godly?
Yes.
God said the earth should give out a soul of life. Is that godly?
Yes.
Of course, but it was by speech of God.
Yes.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
The is the godly soul. The animal soul is let there be a soul.
It's
Okay.
more
So-
external. Speech is more external.
That's
When
what
One at a
I
time.
was saying.
Yes.
So, okay, so, how do we know that Adam Arishon had a nefesh elokis? How do we know that?
So again, ladies and gentlemen, on all the details, we have learned it. It's in the previous classes, and we will learn it again. This is just a summary, and based on what we've learned in the past, that's what it is. But it's a very good question. How do we know? Did he have? Did he not have? Again, that's only a short summary to refresh our memory of what we've learned.
Is it in Perek Beis or is it
Perek
later?
Beis, Perek Aleph, it's part of, yes. Yeah. Chapter 4. Not chapter. Question 4. Part of you wants to sleep in, part of you wants to get up. Which is the real you?
Get up.
Sleep in.
Get up.
Get up.
He
No.
said.
What?
I said both.
Both.
I said both.
You said both.
Yes.
I think get up.
You think get up. So the truth is that the answer to this question is based on another question. What is the real you, the animal soul or the divine soul?
Divine soul.
What?
Both.
Yes. But that's the real question. And obviously what we would like to get to, and what the Alter Rebbe is starting to teach in the 53 chapters of Tanya, is that the real you is the divine soul. Because the real you is God, is holy.
So it brings us up to the first question: is self-control easy or within? We didn't say you didn't say it's within reach. Well, maybe we haven't reached it yet in all aspects.
Yeah, we didn't reach it. I said it's within reach, but it's not easy.
So about getting up or not getting up, when you're in bed and you're trying to get up, who's talking? The Yetzer Hara and the Yetzer Tov are talking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so who is the real you? The Yetzer Hara or Yetzer Tov? But that's what it is, because it's part of us. But the truth is that the Yetzer HaTov is only a cover. The Yetzer Hara is only a cover. It's only a box where the Yetzer HaTov, where the neshama, where the soul is put in. The real you is the neshama, the divine soul.
So get out.
Exactly.
So why don't we
I heard again. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, on each one of those, we had 3 or 4 months of classes, so we could go and discuss all these in details, but this is summarizing what we have learned. I'll just share with you something very interesting. There was a mashpia which you might have met, Reb Melech, what's the... No, from Morristown.
was he a former Sachman?
No, Reb Melech. I forgot his. For now, I forgot his last name. I apologize. I know it. Tzvibel. Reb Melech Tzvibel was a mashpia, a mentor, teacher of, and full with life of Hasidus in the Chabad yeshiva of Morristown, one of the big yeshivas in New York, New Jersey. So Melech Tzvibel passed away a few years ago of a heart attack, and recently someone sent a clip of a Farbrengen that he had with Bochrim. He speaks in Yiddish. Farbrengen and Hasidic get together, and I was interested. As I told you earlier, I don't read everyone, but that one, Reb Melech, I missed him. I missed his. I listened to it while driving, and he's saying the following. He's bringing out a point, to be very brief. He's bringing out a point and saying the following. What is the holiest moment of a person waking up in the morning? So, Modani. On the surface, it's Modani. When one says Modani, the first, I acknowledge you, I thank you, Hashem, for returning my soul. This, Hasidus explains, is the highest moment. Why? Because it's beyond everything. It's the purity of the soul when it comes down, comes back to the body that is beyond washing the hands and beyond Hashem's name. It's an inner connection of soul to soul. And we could elaborate on it. There is a whole booklet that Kuntres in Yanash Torah Hasidut, which the Rebbe explains how the Modani has on all levels, Pshat, Remez, Drush, Sod, how the Modani is viewed. Modani, the highest level. The Melech goes on and brings a point from the Rebbe, a point from one of the Rebbe's explanations, that the Ksheyeor Mishenato, that the waking up of the sleep before Modani is even higher. And that's when one knows where one is. If one wants to test, he speaks to Bochim, if you want to test where you really are, Bochim Yeshiva students, teenagers, Yeshiva students, tell them, if you really want to test where your mind really is, where your heart really is, it's not the way you say Modani. It's the way you wake up. And he says the following. He says, when I wake up in the morning with a clock, alarm clock, no alarm clock, but I wake up in the morning, my eyes open up and I jump out of bed to serve God, then I know that I'm godly. If I wake up in the morning and another 5 minutes, then you know you're an animal. Then you know you're an animal, because what does it mean another 5 minutes? Why do you need another 5 minutes? You slept enough. Get up. The sleeping is only serving your being up. Being lazy, another 5 minutes. Laziness is the animal soul. Being comfortable in sleeping is the animal soul. One needs to be at a certain level to appreciate the beauty in it. What's another 5 minutes of putting my head down? What's the big deal? But that's what we're learning about. Let's continue.
I just want to say one thing. My wife once told me like this. She says, you have a bank account at the bank? You have money, you spend, there's a certain balance. Sleep is the same thing, she says. Sleep is like you have a bank account of sleep. And you get that extra 5 minutes, a little bit of interest on your sleep, you know?
But if being up is the bank account, and then taking away from the sleep rather than...
So the sleep is the debt,
Yes.
and the waking up time is the credit versus the debit. So you don't want to go to sleep.
Rabbi Jacobson calls it being a frog.
Being a frog, yes. Okay, let's continue another 5 minutes. Or should we leave it for next week?
No,
Let's start at least 5. We'll see how it goes. Another couple minutes. Describe the meaning of soul garments. Okay, so here I want to hear everyone. So let's start with Avi.
Moderni.
Now you gotta wake up.
My answer is the manner in which the soul expresses itself.
Good. Next.
Oh, it's the physical and personal behaviors that reflect and express what level the soul has reached.
Good.
I think it's reflects on speech, thoughts, and action.
Okay.
I said that external attributes of thought, speech, and action.
Okay.
I said thought, speech, and action.
Okay.
Good. Alter Rebbe says thought, speech, and action.
Okay.
Well, I haven't been in this lesson.
Yes.
I thought like garments, it's like the outside awareness, like skin and bones and ramach ivarim and shasa gidim.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
Okay. Hey, what happened to you? Okay. His wife speaks for him.
Just how you express yourself.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Okay.
Carol? We didn't forget you. What?
I said it was the outer layer, the cover of the soul. It can kind of change, but the soul basically itself doesn't change. And it reveals the soul and what is really the true inner soul.
Okay.
I don't know.
You are all right. Everyone is right because those are all garments. However, the tricky part in this is an overview of chapter 1 and 2. The garments of thought, speech, and action that the Alter Rebbe speaks about, the 3 garments of the soul, thought, speech, and action, this is only being introduced in Tanya in chapter 4.
Oh, really?
So at the same time, and mukdam mucha b'Torah. At the same time, the Alter Rebbe speaks about the garment of the soul that the parent is involved with, what kind of garment the soul should come into in this world, at birth, and so on. This is in chapter 2. So, in this context, the garment is a different kind of garment that we're dealing with.
What is it?
And the garment that we are dealing with here is the environment where the soul will be in. In other words, we spoke earlier when in relation to a statement that Yossi made, that there is the real you and there is the box. There is the box in where the real you comes in. So the real you is the godly soul. The box in the packaging of that garment of that godly soul is the garment, the levush. The levush in where that comes in. So it's true, it's the physical body as well. But it's more than that. It's the environment that is being created at home in general, where that soul should be educated and be brought up. Will that environment be polluted, Or will that environment not be polluted from a godly and holy perspective? As well as the animal soul that is the garment to the godly soul, because the godly soul comes into and reflects itself through the animal soul, because there is no holy soul and godly soul, nefesh elokit, that could eat or sleep without the animal soul. Eating is animalistic. That's a nature. You can't help it. It is animal. So every godly soul comes through reflects itself through the animal soul, and that animal soul, that's where number 6, 7, and 8 come in. Where what environment, what kind of animal soul do we create for that to box in, to wrap the godly soul that comes in there. So let's move on to number 6, 7, and 8, and then we'll explain it better.
That's a trick question.
Do we have a say on the kind of soul given to our children? Yes. Of course we have. We don't have a say on the... No, the answer is no, sorry. The soul... Sorry. I jumped to 7. Do we have a say on the kind of soul given to our children? No. As the Alter Rebbe says, לפעמים נשמת אדם גבוה לאין קץ, בא להיות בנו של אדם נבזה ושפל. At times we are low lives, parents, and God gives us a holy, pure soul. And it's always the case, to a certain extent. We always get a soul of a pure child that is beyond us. But do we have a say on the kind of soul garments given to our children? Yes. There we have the choice. That's where we fit in. That's where we are becoming the partners, the shutafim of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, of Hashem, the partners with Hashem in what kind of garments, and that's at many levels. Will we make the godly education easy for God and for that godly soul to express itself, or we will create layers that godly soul will need to express itself, to break through in order to express oneself? And that's again at many levels. It's at the level of the way the father and the mother are behaving in the house. What kind of education will we give to our children, as well as what we do with our thought, speech, and action. That's where it comes in as well. Because if I, as a parent, think godly, holy, if I, as a parent, speak godly and holy, and even during the intimacy of the father and the mother for bringing the child in the world, for creating a child in the world during that time, it's done in a holy manner, then I'm creating a holy environment for that soul to come in. If I'm an animal and evil, and I fight with my spouse, and I'm full of evil thoughts in my mind during that moment, and in general in the household, that creates a very, very heavy, polluted environment, animalistic, evil, at many levels, to that soul to express itself. So we have a say in the environment, in the garments that we're creating, in the pockets that we are creating, and that we are building around that child, but we don't have a say on the soul that God gives to our child. We could be very pure and holy at the highest level, and God could give a soul that is problematic. Many times, unfortunately, parents will have challenges with the education of their children, and not their fault. They've done everything in their power, but God has chosen to give them a package that is a challenging soul. Can we change the soul garments after birth and after child has left home? The answer is yes. And again, we could learn more and elaborate more and go more in and review those classes. And they're very, very good classes that were in the past that are recorded. They're on ChabadAlberta.org/Tanya. It's there, and one is encouraged to take walks and to exercise and to listen to those classes, and then it will make much more sense what we're learning here. One more question, and then we're closing for today.
So we can go over the back.
Yes, bring it next week. We'll go over the back, and we'll have more. Yes.
I'm not quite sure about the difference between question 7 and question 8. We went question 7 and 8. To me, if you can change the garments after birth by virtue of what we do in the environment, it also means that the garment which the soul is delivered into may be the right one or the wrong one, but you can change it. As a result, you don't really have control about the point of delivery. However, after delivery, you have control.
And that's why the answer to both of them is yes. The answer to question 7 and 8 is yes.
Okay, I took it as the answer to question 7 no, because it's just prior, and
No.
8 is
No.
following.
No.
What's it?
In the words of Tanya, כשאדם מקדש את עצמו בשעת of the intimacy, during that time, and that's laws of mikveh and the purity and so on and so forth, that helps. And the more parents are working on their midot and so on and so forth, and the more holy one is, chayav adam lekadesh et atzmo b'shat, the intimacy and so on, that helps the environment we're creating for that soul to come in, the package where Hashem puts in the soul. So the answer to number 6 is, generally speaking, no. There could be a reward from Hashem that He gives us, but that's not directly involved. The answer to question 7 and 8, both are yes, and not only before, but even after, and even after the child has left the home and is totally grown up and totally on their own.
So why there? Because of what they
Because of the wireless connection that the parent has with the child. That's what it is. And again, all this was explained in classes. What?
Okay, so it's because